I put myself in rooms with people that are wealthier than me, that have a lot more knowledge, a lot more experience. And when I do get to meet them, I've already done my research. So when we talk, I have questions that are valuable, not just small talk questions, I'm not just listening to it, but I'm finding ways to implement it, not just for myself, but for my clients. In my life, and I think everyone relates to it, we have different seasons of what the highest need that takes priority. Sometimes it's your business, sometimes it's your family, sometimes it's your friends, your education, whatever. Just whatever is taking the most priority at the moment, I try to be really present. And then if I'm not present, I'm upfront, and I say, look, I'm doing X, Y, and Z. We need to reconnect on this at a later time. I'm just being honest.
If you had a roadmap for the exact steps to go from 0 to your first $1 million in real estate, what would they be?
Oh my gosh, I don't think anyone's ever asked me that before.
Welcome to Built to Scale, the podcast where vision meets action. I'm your host, Quinn Schilz, founder of Master Roofing, and I'm here to pull back the curtain on building world-class teams, scaling companies, and turning bold ideas into unstoppable momentum. Let's get to work. Today on Built to Scale, we have a guest whose life story is nothing short of extraordinary. She was literally born in a refugee camp after her mother, 7 months pregnant, walked hundreds of miles through minefields to escape war-torn Cambodia. From those humble beginnings, she has risen to become a modern Proverbs superwoman, dominating the male-driven world of luxury real estate, investing, and private lending. With over 14 years in high-end real estate, Srey Rollins is the go-to for buyers and sellers of the most exclusive beachfront estates and private residences. She's not just selling homes, she's curating lifestyles, building legacies, and creating wealth for her clients. As a principal of a private equity firm and a managing partner of a capital lending group, she is helping investors across the U.S. strategic funding, tap into multifamily opportunities, and building generational wealth. Her brand promise: empower, build, breathe. Srey empowers her clients with market knowledge, building lifelong relationships based on trust. She endures stress-free luxury experience that's second to none. Beyond real estate, she's an adventurer, a leader, and a visionary with a mission to inspire women, single parents, and give back to her community. If you ever wanted to know how to scale a business from 0 to a multi-million-dollar success, create a wealth pathway through real estate, and do it all with grace, grit, and purpose, this episode is your roadmap. Buckle up, because Srey Rollins is about to show us how to build a life and business that lasts for generations. Welcome, Srey.
Thank you, Quinn, for having me.
For those listening,
What an intro.
for those listening, this has been like the most technical difficulties we've had with the podcast so far. So thank you for being a good sport, Srey, and I apologize for all of this.
Oh, no worries at all.
Let's get into it. So you were born in a refugee camp after your mother crossed minefields pregnant. How did that shape you in your drive as an entrepreneur?
Well, to put it quite frankly, it's made me be very resilient, right? Straight from the womb. And because I am the eldest of my Asian American family, I was instilled with stewardship responsibilities from the start, and that has translated not only in finance, but in relationships for my family, my friends, and also my clients. And because of the humble beginnings that I have, it also, as a young child, it created the type of vision that I wanted to have, not only for myself, but also the people that are going to be around me, and what type of things I want to do in the legacy I want to leave behind.
I love that. And at what moment did you realize that you could break generational barriers and start building wealth through real estate?
Well, the generational barriers topic actually started when I was quite younger. I've had to go through some childhood traumas that made me quite resilient, and from there, one day a group of missionaries came up to our door, knocked on our door, and that day I gave myself to Christ. Wow. And realize that, and he helped me realize that the moments, the disappointments that we have in our life doesn't have to be the defining thing that dictates who you are. Don't let those things control who you are going to be in the future. Let it be the fuel or the fire that makes you the best version of you that God has ordained for you. And your job is to just live out that life and live out that purpose, right? Because of that, with me being instilled with that since I was a child, as things happened to me, right? The first time I got laid off, it put me into finding ways to generate security for myself and for my family, and that's how I discovered real estate. And then from there, the generational wealth started to come because I wanted to have more knowledge, and just grew from there, I guess.
I love that, and I love that you shared that like came to Christ with missionaries coming to your home. I think that like also like that's like one of the cornerstones for you, that you have your faith. Like really, it can be super empowering, especially like in the business world today, to have that, to go back to of like what is the real purpose and life meaning, right? Because we can get so focused on all the materialistic things and all the profit margins and the business and the expenses, but if we don't have some kind of like peace or faith to like go back to, um, it can become like so overwhelming.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when we align our purpose with the right people, the profits will come. But the thing is, as long as you keep what your long-term vision ahead of you, and you invite God into your life every day, and it's really going to help you get through those personal challenges, whether that be with work or with family or whatnot. It's going to give you the strength and ability to create generational healing, stop any generational traumas, and create the general wealth. And wealth, it doesn't necessarily mean monetary wealth, right? It could be more the things that aren't defined by monies, right?
Yeah.
I won't get into that by now, but those are the things that's going to create impact, lasting impact.
Lasting legacy.
Hmm.
Um, so you went from translating for your parents at 9 years old to leading a multi-million dollar to leading into like multi-million dollar deals. How does that journey even happen?
Well, you mentioned translating, and when I was 9 years old, I was translating for my nanny, who's also my grandmother. I lived with her growing up because my parents had to work all the time. She actually raised me. She became terminally ill. Yeah. So I spent my days
Wow.
for a period of time going to the hospital, translating, staying overnight. That it was it gave me the skills to listen and translate people's needs, not just technically, but also what they're not saying verbally.
Hmm.
And that skill has helped me in my roles in leadership, in management, in how I can get capital placement done for my clients. I can help them other in real in as a realtor. I can hear what they need to what they're needing for their the lifestyle that they want to live in the home that they have. So it was just a skill that I kind of picked up from that.
That's and it sounds like it really like helped lead you to where you are today, also by understanding that other sense of communication.
Yes, yeah, communication.
What was your very first real estate deal, and what did you learn from that changed your life?
My first deal was a burr, which I didn't know existed at the time because I was fresh out of college. I actually got my first apartment first, and then blew my credit, did not understand what credit truly was, how it truly affected. But then I learned about real estate,
Yeah.
and I knew that I learned about appreciation and equity and whatnot, but I had nothing but some down payment. So I partnered with my sister, who had great credit, but none of the other things. So my first investment was buying a home. I fixed it up, we lived in it, rented it out, and then eventually sold it.
Nice. And how did you realize that moment when I'm not just selling homes, I'm building legacies?
That comes from uh, working with not just myself as an investor, but working with other clients as well, whether it's their primary resident or a investment property,
Mhm.
because of the challenges that I had growing up and my first experience in understanding how equity can work in a home that I'm living in, that's providing safety, it's providing opportunity. It also provided wealth in the end, because when I sold it, I used those funds to do other things. So when I'm meeting with clients and they're telling me what they need, the people that fill those homes, those buildings, are that person's legacy. It's their children, how they're sending them off to school, when they're making them breakfast. And aside from that, it's the actual infrastructure of the building. When they actually sell it later, right? They're getting equity out of it. So it's both the legacy of the children that's growing in these homes, and then that with the actual investments. I'm not sure if I'm explaining that quite right.
No, I think I get what you're saying. You're saying that like, legacies, like you realize that like it's like you're setting up like the family lineage also by putting them in these properties. Like their families are gonna make this their home and they grow up, and like and also with the investments as well, right? It's like
Hmm.
this is gonna be people are gonna be in these dwellings.
Yes, exactly. It's not just a dwelling, it's a home first and foremost. And that dwelling just happens to also make you some money.
So how did you get started in real estate, and what did the first 12 months look like?
It really got kicked off when I got laid off for the very first time.
Yeah.
I was a manager of a clinic that I helped to open, hire, build, all the stuff. Created picked and built their EMR. I mean, I did everything. And I was laid off. And I knew from there that I can't rely on someone else to create the future that I want. I need to find a way to have some security
Mm-hmm.
where I'm controlling it. So then we started doing fix and flips. When I say we, I meant at the time he was my boyfriend. We had, plans to get married and whatnot. So our first real endeavor was a fix project in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and that was a doozy.
Why? What happened?
Well, the contractor that we chose was actually referred by our realtor, whom we love at the time. She's helped us do many other projects. So, we vetted the person and he had lots of experience, but he had been over leveraged. We didn't know, what's going on in people's personal lives. You don't know.
Totally.
And then about, I want to say a few months in, we get a phone call. At least he didn't just run off. He, had integrity and called me and said, the money's gone. I can't complete any of the projects. He didn't really say what was going on. And I'm sure other investors sued him and all that stuff. But at that point, I didn't want to do that. I was like, you know what, something's going on with his life. I empathized with it, and we just moved on.
Mm.
And
Wow.
I'm a very transparent person, yeah. So
Says a lot about
before I called, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt. I said that says a lot about you, like with that happening, and you not, he just paid him and he ran out of the money. Like,
Mm.
yeah.
I mean, I guess some people might say I was that we were as a doormat. Is that the word? But that's not it. In my opinion, uh, deals can go sour,
Totally.
and things don't always turn out the way that you want. But you've got to keep pressing forward, and being litigious about everything is not always the way to go. I had a problem to solve, and doing lawsuits and all that other jazz was not going to be able to repay back my private money lender that I had a responsibility for, right? So instead of course, we freaked out a little bit. After I laid out some ideas of what I wanted to do, then I called my private money lender right away, let him know what was going on. I gave him a solution. He was fine. I didn't just call him and say, I need more money, we're screwed. I called him and gave him solutions. And I worked with new contractors and new subcontractors who allowed me to do a balloon payment at the end. So that worked out quite well. I didn't make as much as I wanted, but that's okay. It's only 10% less, all right? We're good.
So what's the difference between selling a luxury home and creating a lifestyle for your clients?
When you're selling a luxury home, you're just doing a transaction. When you're selling a lifestyle, not selling, when you're delivering a lifestyle, you've truly taken the opportunity to listen to the client's needs, wants from the moment they wake up, that first cup of coffee, getting their kids ready to off to school. Is there, in Hawaii, for example, some people want to wake up in the morning and see these beautiful mountain views. Others, like myself, I want to go surfing first. So those things are important because it's helping them curate the life that they want by putting them in strategic neighborhoods,
Right.
right? Mm-hmm.
So it's like, you're not just selling, like doing the transaction of selling the home, but you're finding out what their needs and wants are, like school or whatever's close, and helping to get that person what they actually need and want, versus maybe some newer agents might just go out there and just try and find the bathroom count or the bedroom count, but they're not thinking about all of the things that person actually needs for their life and what's happening in their life.
Yeah, exactly.
So when did you realize you needed to build a team, and what was your first hire?
Uh, I realized I needed to build a team as we were scaling pretty quickly in our fix and flips that we were doing. And the more hats that I had to wear, every time I added a new title to my signature line, I had to hire more people. So my I was, before real estate, I was in healthcare for a long time, so I'd always, hiring people all the time, doctors, medical assistants, things of that nature. But my first hire in real estate was an assistant because I wasn't able to do the administrative tasks in an efficient way that would allow me to actually get out there to make sure the projects were getting done. So my first hire was, at that time, they didn't have virtual assistants. It was an actual assistant, project manager, if you will, to help make sure that all those things could get completed, and then it allowed me the time to do the things that really mattered. That was going to drive the business forward.
What's your step-by-step process for, finding and hiring the right people in a high-stakes business?
Oh, referrals helps quite a bit. Um, the relationships that you have with your colleagues who are going through the same things, who are scaling better than you, quicker than you, that have more knowledge with you. I really rely a lot on my sphere of influence to get, their recommendations of who to work with, um, you know, uh, even how to arrange a business relationship, even on the hire. If I'm hiring someone new in a new role that I haven't had before, I'll consult with someone who's smarter than me and tell them, hey, these are my needs. How are you doing with this type of need? How is your person being effective, so that I can adopt those types of things as well.
When did you first realize that you had to let someone go, and how do you know when it's time to fire?
I am a person that I think everyone would describe, I'm a devil's advocate, even with my own employees and whatnot.
Hmm.
I try to lead by example and give opportunities, but sometimes, and also I have a type A personality and I like to win. So when somebody fails or is not meeting expectations, I can't help but feel that they are an extension of me, so then I feel like I'm failing. But I would say finally in my 30s, I would say, is when another mentor really sat me down and said, hey, your team is a reflection of you. They are an extension of you, but some people, no matter what you do, they don't take that personal accountability. They're not going to change. And you can't take that as a reflection of your failure. And it's actually better to let them go give the reasons because they've already known them anyways, so that they can move on, they can grow, and I can grow as a leader myself, and do better for the organization, because it's not good to keep something that's not a thorn, but that's dragging everything else down, you know?
Yeah, for sure. What systems or structure did you put in place that finally let your business scale?
Still coming up.
I put myself in rooms with people that are wealthier than me, that have a lot more knowledge, a lot more experience, and when I do get to meet them, I've already done my research, so when we talk, I have questions that are valuable, not just small talk questions, you know? I'm not just listening to it, but I'm finding ways to implement it, not just for myself, but for my clients.
SoCal homeowners, why pay $15,000, $20,000, or even $30,000 for a new roof when instead you can get a new roof for only less than $100 per month? Here at Master Roofing, we serve homeowners with high quality roofs with no hefty upfront costs. So give your house the roof it deserves with zero down and low monthly payments. Why wait? Click the link below to get you a roof you deserve for payments you can afford.
Having good capital partners. Growing my financial IQ has been a really important thing. I rarely say no to, which can sometimes cause me to squirrel, but I can rarely say no to learning about new ways that finance works, that capital works in this space. I put myself, like I mentioned earlier, in rooms with people that are, you know, wealthier than me, that have a lot more knowledge, a lot more experience, and I sit and I absorb. When I do get to meet them, I've already done my research, so when we talk, I have questions that are valuable, not just small talk questions, you know? And then from there, it's really helped me to scale because I'm not just listening to it, but I'm finding ways to implement it, not just for myself, but for my clients, right? Very recently, actually, I've learned about something called shelf funding. A lot of investors, business owners have new companies, but they have no history. It's very new, so they can't get credit, they can't get financing. And now our group is working with shelf funding to create ways for them to get capital.
What was your first year in business that you truly felt real, and what I can change there?
Can you ask the last part again?
Yeah. What was the first year your business truly felt real, and what really changed to get you there?
The first time it really felt real was the last project in our syndication for multifamily. We took down a project in Las Vegas. It was 9 buildings, 230 something doors, and it became transition housing
Yeah.
for children that were in the foster care system, but they outgrew it.
Mm.
And they need a place to start their young adult life.
Yeah.
And to be a part of something like that, it really resonated with our purpose, and it just fueled in me even further. What can we do next to live out that purpose that we've been given through this vehicle, which is real estate?
So, if you had a roadmap for the exact steps to go from zero to your first million in real estate, what would they be?
Oh my gosh, I don't think anyone's ever asked me that before. Well, gosh, it would take too long to go through all the steps. Like, can I just give you one?
Sure.
The first step, at least the one that works for me and my family and my husband, is we wake up in the morning and we ask God to join us in the day, surrender the day to Him. In doing so, He will introduce the right people, the right opportunities, and take away the things that are not going to be productive in your life. So for us, number one is having God be the leader in your day.
I love that. You've been in the game for 14 plus years. What's the most money you've made in a single year, and what did it take to hit that?
What is the most money we've made in a single year? Oh gosh, I think this year is actually one of the biggest amounts. Now, it all hasn't come to fruition yet because they're all need to be closed. We're doing quite a bit of capital funding at the moment, but I think we should clear just me alone. Oh, gosh, I hate talking about that stuff. Oh, we should clear, what's that? Almost 4.2.
That's amazing. Congratulations. So, how do you balance luxury and what? Let's just stay on that. What did it take to get there to hit that? Like, what did it take?
For us, it took a lot of full transparency, a lot of masterminds,
Yeah,
quite a few mentors, mistakes in the which masterminds to get into.
yeah,
But that's what it took. It really, I've been laid off 3 times,
yeah.
and it took the third layoff to say, forget it. I'm gonna do real estate full time. It truly makes me happy. I'm not answering to anyone but myself. My success is my own. My family's success is ours. The impact that I want to make to other people can be done this way. And it wasn't going to be me clocking in and out virtually, metaphorically, because that was it. Is just going all in. That was it, all in. And my husband and I, we've been really blessed in that if there's a thing that we want to do and we say it, it usually comes to fruition.
So,
So,
is that coming from like commissions, or is that coming from like all your different businesses, and like you're just like,
yeah, all of our different businesses, yeah.
and you what are the businesses you're doing?
So I'm a realtor here in Hawaii. My lead is with Srey Duncan. I'm with Hawaii Lux. I'm also the principal of Oshling Investment Group. So we're a private equity firm that invests in tangible assets, mostly multifamily, right?
Okay.
So I'm a co-GP in that avenue. And then I'm also the principal managing partner of our capital lending firm, Oshling Capital Lending. And we're working on some really big projects. I've got an ecotourism resort that I'm trying to help launch. Yeah, that's pretty wild. I'm also working on another deal. It's about 200 million. It's a hush hush NDA type deal, but I'm super excited and hopefully I'll get to talk about it when it's all wrapped up.
Is it residential or commercial? Can you say that?
It's in the commercial space.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. But it's not in real estate. I'm actually helping to place the capital on that one.
That's lending. So you kind of have your hands in like all the different buckets
I
of
do.
real estate, like what from actually lending the money to doing the investments, and then also the
Mhm.
brokerage side of it too.
Yes, yes. It's because I'm meeting all these interesting people, and
Yeah,
I'm coming people, and the lending space actually came to me because uh, I worked. I mean, I first needed money,
yeah.
and then I had money to lend out, and then I really had money to lend out. So then, as I was making relationships with different people within the finance space, they would bring me these projects that I couldn't loan on. Like
Yeah.
we're doing I'm doing, as a direct lender, we're doing residential, commercial, about 3 million, right? So anything above that, then we put it on a proprietary auction site, which has family office groups, foreign investors, people like you and me actually in it. But then when it hits the 11, 10, 11 mil threshold, then I reach out to colleagues in the space, and that's how these bigger projects are coming along, because I'm just making relationships, and they'll say, hey, Srey, another project I'm working on, a guy is buying a hotel and he's converting it into 34 multifamily units. So these are the types of transactions that I'm working on.
So how do you balance all of that? The luxury real estate, the private equity, the lending, and how do you
That's a
balance?
good question. Um, you know, People say, oh, work life balance. It's not balancing all the things for me. It is being present in whatever hat I'm wearing at the moment, right? I got to be present for that. And in my life, and I think everyone relates to it, we have different seasons of what the highest need that takes priority. Sometimes it's your business, sometimes it's your family, sometimes it's your friends, your education, whatever. Just whatever is taking the most priority at the moment, I try to be really present. And then if I'm not present, I'm upfront, and I say, look, I'm doing X, Y, and Z. We need to reconnect on this at a later time. I'm just being honest with what I can give at the moment.
Yeah.
That way, I'm not getting drained.
What's your secret to turning real estate deals into long-term wealth instead of just income?
Yeah, it goes back to the relationship. My clients are not just one-time transactions. They are buying homes with me. They're buying real estate with me. They're investing with me. And I'm helping them, right? We have a bit of a concierge type service in both Oshling Investment and Oshling Capital. My clients are not just coming to me with the real estate. I'm also connecting them with pre-vetted professionals, SEC attorneys if they're doing a syndication like myself. I have tax strategists, and if the clients are really diverse in their business, then we have connections for a tax architect, right? One of the communities that I'm in, and the tax advisors that I'm in, he was a top 3 IRS agent in the country. So my clients have access to pretty elite people that will work with people, folks that are just starting their business. They're not just saying, oh, you have to have this much money and I'll work for you. That's not the case. If I'm making a referral, they're going to take care of my clients. So I guess I'm a concierge of wealth building through real estate.
I love it. What do you think is like your boldest or riskiest move that you've made that paid off big?
Just not going back to get another job after that third layoff. That was bold. That was risky. When you're used to having someone take care of your life insurance and you have a steady check all the time. I always had my W-2 job to bounce back from and all those other endeavors. But this time it's purely by my own grit, my own resilience, and support from my spouse. So yeah, that would be it. Just really believing in yourself and taking a leap. A well thought out leap.
What's the biggest failure or the deal that went sideways, and what did it teach you?
That first fix and flip. I can honestly say that was my first one, and we've been really blessed since then to not have any other really bad business moves. Well, actually, I forgot about this one. We in a previous relationship, we purchased a residential and commercial window cleaning and custom home detailing business. I didn't do my due diligence well enough, and the asset that we purchased did not actually have everything that it claimed to have had. I should have done more work, like I said, a lot more due diligence. I didn't understand underwriting and stuff quite then and buying a business. So I did it just based on what this guy said. He was a man of faith. I just went with that, and it seemed like everything was kosher. And we didn't get what we actually purchased. We had to just basically grow it all as if I could have just spent that money on a marketing campaign to get to where we actually needed to be. So that was a tough one.
So if you could go back 10 years, what would you do differently in your business?
Have quit earlier. I would have quit my job earlier. That's what I would have done. Exactly. I had all these skills, and I was afraid to just not worry about that W-2. I should have just quit, started buying apartment buildings a long time ago. Always wondered how people buy these apartment buildings. If I just did a little bit more digging, I would have found out it was through syndications.
What would you say is like your hardest moment you faced as a woman in a male-dominated industry?
I had this conversation with another woman the other day, actually. She's also a podcast host. For me, I am just truly myself.
Yeah.
I don't try to bring that masculine energy at all. I'm in my soft energy, and I'm true to who I am. I'm transparent in my transactions, in my relationships. I've been welcomed quite well, actually, in this space by my male counterparts. In a recent transaction, actually, the transaction didn't happen, but I'd made some really big introductions. Those men could have just called the other guy and left me completely out of it. I would have not known any better. But because of the relationship that we had built, even though it actually wasn't very long, I hadn't even met them for very long,
Hmm.
but their observation of how I was, when the next big deal came in, that $200 million deal, they called me up right away and said, hey, we've got this going on. I'd love to work with you and such on this deal, even though that other one didn't pan out.
Wow.
So really just owning who you are and don't be anything else. The men really have respected that in me. And I also play pretty good golf.
That's awesome. Was there ever a time that you almost quit?
I don't think I don't quit. That's my problem. I don't quit. I don't. I may pivot, but I don't quit. Um, that just comes out of the resilience in me. I mean,
So to transition into like AI, how are you using ChatGPT or AI to run your business more efficiently?
that's a great question. So I'm getting quite a bit of different contracts, different projects that are coming to me. I'm getting, 5, 10 projects are coming at the same time. I will take that information, run it through ChatGPT and it helps me summarize the key points.
Hmm.
And if I'm making an introduction to other capital connectors, I will use it to help me write an executive summary even. It's really helped me a lot in contract writing, contract negotiations. That's been a huge game changer for me. There are nuances to contracts, and I'm not a lawyer, obviously by any means, and I don't know all the nuances, everything. But I will ask it a question, and I will say, "Tell me what I need to know about this contract that is not going to help me," and it will say, "That's a great question. This is what you should ask," and will actually help me give me a list of questions that I would have never known.
What's your favorite ChatGPT prompt that you think every entrepreneur should try?
What are the red flags in this contract? That's my favorite.
Do you think that AI will replace agents or
Will AI? Well, actually, right. I'm working with a client now on a property that's using a different. They're not cutting out the agents, but they're using a platform where you can go and bid on the properties instead of having a real estate agent represent you. But in the end, when it comes to writing contracts, the agent will come. So there's already things like that are in motion. But again, it goes back to real estate isn't just an investment, it's a lifestyle. So you can't have that with just your AI. You need that human interaction. You're selling a home, right?
totally?
So I don't think that it will be replaced.
Do you think it will create even more opportunity in luxury real estate?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It's going to help us get information much quicker, and reduce the time that it takes to even build relationships. Because we use AI ourselves in doing different types of automations. That's how I'm able to reach out to new clients, whether that's in residential real estate or helping to consult on these big projects. We're using AI to do introductions, to weed out people that aren't serious, all that stuff. It's a time saver.
What's one tech tool or system that completely changed how you operate?
let's see. Well, you already mentioned the ChatGPT and Claude. Those are my two big ones. I'm not a really big tech person.
What was the second one you
I,
said?
was it Claude?
Yeah, what's Claude?
Claude, I use Claude more when I'm wanting to create things in my tone, in my cadence. Uh,
I've
it's
never heard of
one that
it.
you can use to train. Yeah, you can use it to, it's like all the other ones. You can train it with how you write, how you speak. Um, if I have to write an email that's a little bit more forceful, but it's still in keeping with who I am, it does all that for me. So that's really helpful, right? Because then I can just slam it all out
Yeah.
and then it'll clean it all up. And I can say, I don't usually speak like that. Please reference this email. And then it will, stay in keeping with how I naturally write. It's kind of like, what I did was when I had my master's program, I uploaded a lot of my documents and papers that I wrote, so it knows how I write, how I communicate, when I want to be more litigious, when I want to be more formal or casual. It has all these writing samples, and then
That's pretty
it can
cool.
do that for me.
So your brand promise is empower, build, breathe. Um, your brand promise is empower, build, breathe. What does that mean to you and your clients?
For my clients, when I say that you're being empowered, I'm helping them gain knowledge and build confidence, and by doing so they can take control of their finance and what it is that they're looking for, so that it really resonates with the future that they want to build, right? Then when I say that build is also another component of it, it's giving them, again, financial literacy, helping them raise their financial IQ. By working with me, I share a lot of different ways to be creative that they haven't thought about, you know? So that way their investments can influence others and not just themselves. So I usually work with clients that have, that are philanthropic themselves too. It seems to be that's the kind of people that are coming to me, reaching me. I don't know. And then finally, to breathe, it means that they've been able to create a space where their investments have allowed them to reflect on that investment, on the life that they're living. Their investments are in a safe vehicle so that they can focus on their faith, focus on their family, and when it comes time for their eyes to shut, they're gonna take their last breath easily, without worry. I guess that's what I mean.
How do you market yourself to high-end clients without chasing them? Or how do you attract those high-end clients?
Still coming up.
If you had a roadmap for the exact steps to go from zero to your first million in real estate, what would they be?
Oh my gosh, I don't think I've ever asked me that before. Just the law of attraction, I'm just me, and mostly my work, I meet a lot of clients just through referrals, honestly. Uh, People just share who I am, and just being my authentic self, not trying to be more than that.
Do you do a lot
I
of
know people.
marketing, like paid marketing?
I don't. I'm terrible at it, actually. That's definitely something that I need to work on. And that's where I squirrel. That's where I start to squirrel. I meet it. Somebody gives me a call. They've got a new idea. I'm writing a check, and then I'm disappointed. So that's definitely an area that I need help with.
What advice would you have for a young entrepreneur who wants to build a personal brand that sells?
I would say build something sustainable, build something impactful. Uh, your your business is just the business. It's the life that you want to create, not only for yourself but for the the people that you're going to be impacted by. That's going to be really important. Your long-term vision should be beyond just you and your needs, because in the end, we're all just dust. So are you going to make any impact on this world? So that's what I tell our young folks is do something that's meaningful. It's not just numbers, it's not just profits. Um, Leave something behind where people can say, oh, I remember that person. They did X, Y, and Z.
What does legacy mean to you, and how are you building it?
Legacy for me is something that's going to be sustaining. The nonprofit that we want to have, that we mentioned earlier, I want it to be sustaining, self-sustaining. It's going to be, what we want to do is give help and aid in healing, right? That's one big thing. We're going to have them take a series of courses for raising their financial IQ and understanding finance a bit, like not too confusing, but some good basics, right? And then we will equip them with having a business. We will teach them about infinite banking and family banking, so that my legacy is not just the people that I've affected, but the people that I've helped. They now have a legacy also that's beyond my reach and will affect generations to come.
When you say infinite banking, I just had a guest on recently who talked about that. Are you talking about like is it something to do with life insurance and then
Yeah,
the policies?
yeah, exactly. So we believe very strongly in providing opportunities and not just giving a handout. So that's where we want to take the direction of our nonprofit, is giving them these skills and
Yeah.
these financial solutions that people just don't know about, especially in you know that class of people, even middle class, that just don't know. They don't teach you that stuff in school. So someone's got to do it, and we would love to have that opportunity as we grow our business to be able to give back. We're actually, our next endeavor is a mental health care facility for youth as well. And that mental health care facility is going to fuel that nonprofit that we want to have.
That's super exciting. With the nonprofit, like, when are you guys gonna get like started with that, or how can people get involved?
Well, we plan to open it in a year, so we've got some time to go. If people want to get involved, yes, please reach out and we can talk about what we want to get done, how we want to have it achieved. And really, I would love to work with people that have those types of resources too, because I can't do it alone. Um, I want other people that have the same shared passions to be a part of it.
What are your biggest goals for the next 5 years?
Next 5 years. Well, every day my goal is to wake up, because you never know what the day is gonna bring. But in the next 5 years, I really would like to have that nonprofit going. It's self-sustaining. I would like to have probably by that time maybe even have sold those series of mental health care clinics and use those funds to do some other things as well. And I believe that I will probably scratch off some titles in my signature line and focus a little bit more on some things that are really tugging at my heart.
Do you want to share what those are?
I'll keep it. The Lord says sometimes it's too early to speak on those things.
Fair.
Yeah.
Do
But
you
again, it just has to do with the nonprofits, with helping single parents and the children and whatnot. That's just really, really important to me, since if I can't have any of my own, other people's children will be mine.
I love that. If you want to, do you want to scale your real estate portfolio to like $100 million portfolio, or you want to keep it boutique, white glove approach?
I want to keep the white glove approach. That's always been how I've approached all of my business endeavors and all the different ventures that I've been a part of, whether I'm a consultant in opening medical facilities and whatnot. I like the white glove approach the most.
What motivates you now? Is it the money, freedom, legacy, or something else?
It's my purpose. That's what motivates me. Yeah.
And what is your
People go through their entire life not knowing the meaning of life, not knowing what their purpose is. And when you've been given that purpose, it makes every morning you wake up, you already know what your job is, you know?
and
Yeah.
when you say your purpose, what is your purpose? Like, what did you find to be your purpose?
My purpose is, again, that nonprofit that we want to have. Mhm.
Um, so if a young entrepreneur is watching and wants your life in 10 years, do you have kind of like a guide on how they should start and get there?
Have faith in yourself. Make sure that you're not too hard on yourself when things don't turn out the way that you plan them to be. What you um, are experiencing, it's just sharpening who you're meant to be. Take it as lessons learned. Don't let fear be the thing that hinders you. Let it be the thing that fires and fuels you to achieve the things that you have even yet to know.
So if somebody wants to get into real estate and they want to start making money, like for something to motivate them, what's the most expensive home you've ever sold?
That I've ever sold. Uh,
Or I guess
I
deal.
just, yeah, the biggest deal. The biggest deal that Hawaii Lux has been in was last year. I don't remember the exact number, but as a whole, the Hawaii Lux team did over 134 million last year alone.
That's
No,
amazing.
I'm just a member of that. Yeah.
What's the biggest check you've ever cashed from a single deal?
The biggest check? Hmm. 100Ks? No. I think it was either between maybe two. I think that sounds about right. I I don't really pay attention to those types of things. It really I don't know. Is that silly?
Some people do, some people don't, but I think the people who are successful, there's a trend that I've noticed that it's not they're not really paying attention to every single detail. They're more focused on the relationship, and they know the money's going to flow.
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. If you were to ask me what has been the most influential person in your life in a deal, boom, easy. But if you were to ask me how much money did I make out of it, it's money.
Who's the most
And by all means, guys, when I say that, I am not a multi-millionaire. Okay, I'm gonna be like very frank with you. That's not me at all. The money is just you can if you lose it, you can make more of it. If you have a ton, great. You do something useful with it. It's the relationships with the people that made you that money that's going to help you scale. That's what it is. Those people have put me in rooms that I probably shouldn't even be in, but there I am. you know,
who is the most influential person you've ever done a deal with?
Most influential person that I've
That
ever
was
done
an
a
easy
deal was actually a someone in the healthcare field. He became a mentor of mine. His name is Dr. Jacob Merman. If he sees this, great. He's an internist and homeopath. He believed in me when I was just a very young medical assistant, and he really, you know, helped me build the confidence that he saw in me. And I was hired on to do a ground up construction on his first on that clinic, and yeah, that was for me life changing.
What's your favorite luxury home feature that always sells?
My favorite luxury home feature that ever sells.
That always sells.
Well, gosh, really good appliances.
The Viking
It's
appliances.
okay. I don't care if you have a personal chef. It's something about having some beautiful Viking appliances. When you walk into a kitchen and you know that beautiful meals are going to be made here, even if you're not the one cooking, it just feels really good.
Worst advice you ever got in business?
Worst advice, just go with it. People, you don't just go with it. Don't be afraid to ask the tough questions, even if you think that it may cause you to lose out on that deal. I didn't do that due diligence on that first business that I purchased, and that taught me a lot. And now when I'm bringing on, I'm taking new deals, if I'm vetting new people that are going to be in my sphere of influence that I'm going to be referring clients to, I will ask them those tough questions. And if they are people of integrity and they're not doing anything that is unethical, they will respect that you're going to ask those questions. Just do it in a mindful way, in a spirit of collaboration, and you should be set.
One thing you do every day that makes you, that keeps you winning?
I mentioned it earlier. I start my day
Prayer.
by surrendering it to the man.
If you lost everything tomorrow, how would you rebuild?
I would be just fine. I would rebuild because the architect of my life never left me to begin with. Just another challenge. Let me tell you, Quinn, like when you have gone through some big things in your life as a child, everything else is doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
That's powerful. Where can people find you?
Well, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Instagram, I'm also in Facebook. As far as I know, there's only one Srey Rollins out there. Never seen anyone else with my name. Should be easy to find.
Sorry, that was powerful. I appreciate you pulling back the curtain and sharing your journey, the wins, the losses, and mindset and strategy. These are the kind of conversations that move people forward, and I know this one will stick with our audience. Thanks for tuning in to Build to Scale. If you got value from today's episode, do me a quick favor, subscribe, leave a review, and share this with someone building something great. Your support helps the show grow and makes it easier for me to bring on bigger names and guests and incredible guests like Srey Rollins today, so thank you. Follow me at Quinn Vincent on Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, and TikTok for daily behind-the-scenes insights and momentum to fuel your journey. Until next time, keep building, keep believing, and remember, legacy isn't given, it's built.